Can everybody hear me? First of all, I first want to congratulate Mr. Series and Ms. Reyes as President and Vice President, and welcome Mr. Acosta onto the Board of Education. And hopefully we can have a good relationship, all work together for the betterment of the school district. With that being said, at this time, I am required by the State of New Jersey Department of Education to give the report, the OFAC report, Office of Fiscal and Accountability and Compliance, in a public meeting in front of the Board of Education. I am not going to read the entire report. It will take a long time, but it will be on the screen, and our copies are in front of you. It is on our website. All I'm doing is condensing it. I'm not changing the report in any way. I'm just condensing the report itself. I want to first of all thank all the courageous administrators, staff, teachers who compiled with this report, met with the investigators, give them the cooperation that they showed. A little history of this. This report was done by the investigators of the Department of Education, OFAC, in collaboration with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Many people were interviewed by those two agencies. I want to thank the courageous individuals who gave their cooperation to these people. At the end of this meeting, I'll be more than happy to meet with any of the press. Now, I will begin now to read the highlights. The one thing that I want to make perfectly clear, I did not write this report. This report was put forward for nearly 8 months, since August. Many individuals, like I said, were investigated both by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and OFAC. This is not my report. All I'm doing is reading it. Now, my job here is to protect the integrity of this district. This district has come under fire. And so help me God, no outside influence is going to penetrate this district. This is not business as usual anymore. I want to make that clear. I do not have the luxury of protecting myself. I will sacrifice that to protect this school district. This district has survived this report, has survived the nonsense I'm going to be reading about. I hope the board will cooperate and help to make this district a better district. Many people know what type of person I am, and I like to not to cause any problems, but it's no longer business as usual. I have to stand up and be a leader for this district. I need to read, but I want to let you know, when they investigated, I told them everything that I did wrong also. I did not throw anybody under the bus. I told them what I did wrong. So at that point, let me continue with the report. I would hope that at the end, let me get through the report, and at the end there will be plenty of time for people to make comments or ask questions of me or the board members. The entitled report, again, I said, is copies up here. State of New Jersey Department of Education, Office of Physical Accountability and Compliance Investigative Unit. Executive summary. During August of 2012, the Office of Physical Accountability and Compliance, referred to as OFAC, initiating a hiring practice review in the West New York School District. The review was initiated based upon concerns that some employment decisions were based on political allegiance and a school district employee's willingness to make campaign contributions to municipal officials. The OFAC review was structured to determine if the district hiring practice were complying with applicable educational statute, code, and void of undue influence. The OFAC review included interviews with district administrators and support staff. The OFAC investigators reviewed board policy, board minutes, job postings and descriptions, and applicable responses. The OFAC also reviewed board members' financial disclosure forms, employment contracts, payroll records, Election Law Enforcement Commission, candidate filings, as well as other documents pertinent to the matter under review. Based on the information obtained during this interview and the review of the officials and unofficial documents that supports statements made by the interviews, the current mayor of West New York, Dr. Felix Roque, has interjected himself into the district's hiring process, assisted by board members, school administrators, and other district employees, family and friends who supported the mayor were hired, promoted, and reassigned to more desirable work environments. Likewise, some district employees identified as loyal to the mayor, former mayor, were identified and selected for termination, demotion, or reassignment to less desirable work locations. The review also confirmed that the mayor, his aides, the board members, and district employees actively solicited contributions from district employees who often felt obligated to contribute to ensure continued employment. Individuals interviewed and historical documents that were reviewed by the investigators indicated that such a practice has been commonplace in West New York School District for many years. However, under the current mayor, the amount of the contributions solicited from school employees and the methods of solicitation raised a new level of concern. According to those interviewed, the current mayor actively solicited school administrators to purchase $2,000 dinner tickets to fund his campaign. Solicitations were conducted on school grounds and during school days. School administrators stated they were led to believe that failure to purchase a ticket would adversely affect their employment status. The OFAC review confirmed several instances of potential retaliation against individuals deemed to be unsupportive of the mayor. Persons interviewed also indicated board members appointed by the current mayor declined to confirm reappointments contrary to the recommendations of the superintendent. Based on the interview information obtained during the OFAC review, the district is directed to prepare a corrective action plan, identify the measures it will implement to ensure compliance with the applicable statute and code, and require hiring and promotions. Specifically, the board is instructed to comply with the provisions of NJSA 18A:27-4.1, personal actions. In reference to the contact of certain board members, the OFAC lacks jurisdiction to address the issues involving possible board member conflicts of interest and code of conduct violations. Such matters are under the purview of the School Ethics Commission. Aggravated individuals may submit a complaint directly to the SEC. Information for the filing of ethics complaints is available on the NJUS Education Ethics website. In reference to potential ethics violation and abuse of involving the mayor and or the town of West New York administrative staff, a copy of this report will be forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General and the Division of Local Government Services, Department of Community Affairs, for review. The remainder of the report details the investigative process utilized as well as the information obtained during the investigation that serves as the basis for the OFAC determination. Investigation, conclusions, and recommendations. During July 2012, the Office of Physical Accountability and Compliance was alerted to concerns involving political fundraising and inappropriate political involvement with hiring practices in the West North School District. The concerns were forwarded to the OFAC by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The FBI had developed information concerning questionable district fundraising and employment practices during an unrelated investigation involving Dr. Felix Roque, the current mayor of West New York. The OFAC initiated an investigation to determine if the district practices were and are compliant with educational statute and code. The federal indictment of Mayor Felix Roque. On May 16, 2011, Mayor Roque and a group of his supporters became disruptive in their opposition to certain members of the Board of Education. Minutes of the May 16, 2011 board meeting, as well as a video posted on the internet document, activities that were disruptive to the orderly conduct of the business of the board. The meeting was disrupted by unruly and threatening individuals. During the administration of the oath of office for a board member of the crowd grabbed the oath of office from the hands of a board member. Other people in the crowd shouted and threw papers and water bottles at the board members. These actions and rumors that individuals who did not support the mayor would be retaliated against led to a recall movement against the mayor. An internet website, www.recallroque.com, was established anonymously supporting the recall. Threats were received by individuals who were supportive to the website and without authorization from the registered owner of the website. The site account was terminated. The threats and interference with the website prompted an investigation by the FBI on May 24, 2012. As a result of the FBI investigation, Mayor Roque and his son were arrested as individuals responsible for terminating the website. Mayor Roque and his son were subsequently indicted on August 9, 2012 on 3 counts of computer hacking. During the FBI investigation, district employees claimed the current mayor utilized school employees to assist in fundraising activities. School employees were distributing tickets to co-workers for a event planned to raise campaigns for the mayor. The solicitations were conducted on school grounds during the school day. Employees indicated it was understood that the failure to support the mayor could result in adverse employment action. Interviews reported the mayor provided a list of employees who wanted to terminate, demote, or transfer. Town hall personnel reportedly, upon the instruction of the mayor, directed or requested friends and supporters to offer a job with the district. Following interviews with various individuals, it was determined the issues identified did not warrant FBI involvement. The FBI determined the identified concerns would be forwarded to the New Jersey Department of Education for review. The OFAC investigation. The OFAC initiated an investigation of alleged allegations and concerns on August 16, 2012, and the investigation included interviews with district administrators, support staff, board policy, board minutes, and video job postings and job description, and actual applicable responses were reviewed. The OFAC was also reviewed board members' financial disclosure forms, employment contracts, payroll records, personnel, state-mandated financial disclosure forms, educational law commission candidates filing a criminal titled United States of America versus Felix Roque and Joseph Roque, as well as other documents pertinent to the matter under review. In comprehensive review, confirmed certain employees were persuaded to support requests from the mayor, town officials, and school staff to acquiesce to the actions they did not necessarily support, and in some instances were deemed not to be the best interest of the individuals. Individuals stated their request to financially support Mayor Roque would be subject to adverse employment action. The investigation also confirmed certain individuals were apparently hired based on political affiliation in support of the mayor rather than ability or based upon district need. The following listing is the synopsis of the information determined by OFAC during their investigation. Issuance of mayor's hit list. Ms. Herrera served as the campaign treasurer for Dr. Roque during his campaign. After the election, she was named liaison between the district and the mayor-elect. In her capacity as liaison, she delivered personal action requests sought by the mayor-elect. One such action was to promote Ms. Herrera to the title of assistant superintendent with an increase of an annual compensation totaling $45,500. Another request action included restructuring of the district organization chart that placed Ms. Herrera second in command. The hit list included the names of individuals the mayor-elect reportedly wanted terminated, transferred, demoted, or promoted. The mayor expressed the opinion he was empowered to provide such advice, providing regarding urgent and personal decisions, based as his appointment as a member of the board of school. Part of the mayor's employment status, the superintendent was instructed to issue rice notices to 5 employees. As directed, the superintendent did issue rice letters to such employees, but advised the employees he would ensure no adverse action would be implemented. Despite considerable pressure applied by Mayor-elect Roque, the superintendent refused to recommend termination. In addition to directing the superintendent to implement specific status changes to existing employees, it was reported the mayor directed the superintendent to hire specific individuals. Directive to interview with mayor. The OFAC investigators were informed by district administration staff that individuals who named and appear on the hit list were instructed to contact Mr. DeMarco at Town Hall to schedule a meeting with the mayor. Political fundraising activities involving school district employees. School administrators told the investigators they were routinely asked to contribute to the political campaigns. Some receipts of the solicitation complained to the superintendent. The superintendent issued 3 memorandums to all district employees, reminding them that such activities on school grounds and during the school day violated school policy. Number 4, appointment of Clara Brita Herrera. Since the board has the authority to provide, to approve or disapprove the superintendent's employment recommendations, the mayor's influence over decisions can have a dramatic effect on district operations. After Dr. Roque was appointed, the mayor instructed Superintendent Falca to appoint Clara Herrera as Assistant Superintendent for Educational and Personal Services. On December 14, 2011, the board approved the resolution appointing Ms. Herrera to the position with a prorated salary of $185,000, effective the day of December 16, 2011. Accelerated tenure for Clara Brita Herrera. On April 11, 2012, the board approved the resolution granting tenure to Ms. Herrera in our newly appointed position as Assistant Superintendent for Education and Personal Services with an effective date of April 12, 2011. The resolution indicated such action was permissible under NJSA 18.28-6, parentheses A. circumstances. The superintendent stated that statute did not allow for payment, as such the resolution had no effect, meaning no effect. Number 6, employment of Ruben Vargas. Following Dr. Roque's appointment as mayor, he directed the district to hire Town Commissioner Ruben Vargas in some capacity. The mayor was adamant that Mr. Vargas obtain employment with the district. The superintendent stated he was fearful that unless he agreed to hire Mr. Vargas, it would be extremely difficult to properly manage the district. The superintendent felt it best to choose his battles, would fight, and agreed to hire Mr. Vargas. It was decided Mr. Vargas would be offered the position as secretary to the supervisor of transportation. Mr. Vargas was hired as an administrative assistant to transportation effective December 16, 2011 to June 13, 2012. He was approved to receive an annual prorated salary of $40,000. Mr. Vargas stated he does not possess a high school diploma. He has not obtained the GED. He is not computer literate other than his ability to access the internet. He has not held a prior position that would provide him with experience needed for his position. Mr. Vargas is unable to identify any experience, special skills, or licenses that would support his election for the position. During the fall of 2012, the superintendent asked Mr. Vargas to resign or face termination under the 60-day termination clause in his contract. The superintendent explained the basis for the recommendation to the board members in closed session. The board members did not approve the recommendation. The board directed the superintendent to allow Mr. Vargas reasonable time to present proof of his qualifications. Request for preferential treatment 7. On or about Friday, September 21st, 2012, Ruben Vargas contacted a member of the custodial staff and requested the office provide at least 3 days of subsequent custodial work to a particular individual. Mr. Vargas has no authority to make such a request. Mayor Roque's threats for failure to promote Ruben Vargas. In early December 2012, Ruben Vargas contacted the superintendent and requested appointment as the warehouse manager. The superintendent informed Mr. Vargas the annual compensation for the warehouse manager position would be $40,000. The same amount was paid in his current title. Mr. Vargas was also informed he lacked the necessary skills for the position. On Thursday, December 13, 2012, Town Administrator Joseph Marlowe called Alan York, Assistant to the Director of Special Services, informed him the Mayor wanted Commissioner Ruben Vargas appointed to District Warehouse Manager with an annual compensation of $90,000. Mr. DeMarco informed Mr. York the Mayor wanted the board to appoint Mr. Vargas as Warehouse Manager. Mr. DeMarco identified the request as a final test, and if not complied with Mr. York, he would be terminated along with Clara Herrera and the superintendent. Additional Mrs. Adrian Series will be removed as board president in May 2013 at the reorganization. The mayor's request to meet with the superintendent. Instructions between the superintendent and the mayor became more adversarial as the superintendent chose not to comply with the mayor's step to control some personnel issues, including suggestions as to staff hires. Prior to September 13th, the board meeting, the mayor indicated he sought to ensure the board award professional services contracts to firms of his choosing. The mayor also wanted the board to withhold approval of contract renewals for the 3 assistant superintendents, to deny the superintendent's request to hire specific individuals as security officer and not modify the district organization chart. On the morning of September 13, 2012, district employee Alan Roth received a phone call and a cell phone from Mayor Roque. The purpose of this call is to discuss topics on the agenda of September 12, 2012 board meeting. Mr. Roth indicated the mayor was upset over the reaffirmation of the contracts for the assistant superintendents, the submission of the organization chart, and recommended recommendations to hire a particular individual as the relative situation. Employment of Clara Perez. Mr. Herrera recommended the superintendent hire Clara Perez as a major assigned to work at the board office as a confidential employee. Ms. Perez is the mother of the mayor's fiance. Request to employ the wife of deputy mayor. The superintendent stated to OFA, investigated shortly after Mayor Oaken won the election, we received a request from Deputy Mayor Silvio Acosta as to the responsibility of obtaining employment for his wife. Prior to the approach of the employment start date, the superintendent reviewed district staffing needs and did not want to spend educational dollars on a non-education position. As such, he decided this particular appointment was not unnecessary. The individual was not employed. Denial of reappointment of Roberto Sanchez and Stacy Oliveira. With the appointment of Dr. Roque as mayor, the board was restructured. Third assistant position was added. The district organization chart was amended to reflect the new position. Under the new organization, Assistant Superintendent Sanchez and Oliveira were now subordinate to Ms. Herrera. It also became apparent that Mr. Herrera was close ties to the mayor and the mayor's new control of the board, yielding considerable authority in the district. 13. Denial of reappointment of Scott Canale. Mr. Scott Canale was employed with the Westfield School District since the 2003-2004 school year. During the 2012-2011 school year, he was employed as a principal at high school and was renewed in capacity for 2011-2012 school year. Mr. Canale was anticipating receiving tenure in his position as principal. Upon his appointment as mayor, Dr. Development scheduled public events to fund his political activities. Tickets to attend the events were circulated in the district, and information circulated among other staff members, including statements to the effect non-tenured employees would fail to buy a ticket to the mayor's Roque's fundraising event, probably not receive their appointment from following year. Specifically, Herrera began coming to the district supervisor human resources and such action was likely. Despite pressure from Mayor office, Superintendent filed a statement to the OFAC investigators. He saw no reason not to recommend the appointment of Mr. Canale. He did so on 3 separate occasions, however, the board failed to approve his recommendation, and Mr. Canale was returned to his prior position as Assistant Superintendent with an annual raise of $10,000 in compensation. Transfer of Michelle Lopez, number 14. Michelle Lopez had been employed by the Westfield School District for 11 years. She had been appointed as a supervisor of gifted and talented program, was demoted after Mayor Lopez was elected. In an interview on August 29, 2012, she was assigned as a third-grade teacher. She was one of the individuals on the list. Mr. Lopez was a former commissioner of the town, serving from May of 2007 to her defeat in May of 2011. Election following the appointment of Dr. Lopez as mayor, she learned her name was included on the mayor's list. She also stated her husband, who worked for the town, was demoted, his working hours were reduced, he was substantially terminated. Her sister, who worked on district for 13 to 15 years, was transferred on December 2011 from her position as secretary in the office. New assignment was the dorm matron at school. Ms. Lopez stated while in public truth, she was approached with a request. She purchased a ticket for the mayor's political fundraiser. She declined. Subsequently, she received a last letter in 2012. Despite favorable evaluations and recommendations from the superintendent for reappointment similar to Mr. Canale, she failed to gain approval from the board for reappointment. The motion resulted in a reduction of approximately $27,000 in annual compensation. After her demotion, she was formally, if If you recall the mayor and pledge her allegiance, she may get her job back. She declined and she submitted a complaint to the Department of Office of Controversy and Disputes, alleging her transfer was arbitrary and capricious. Alan C. Roth, Administrative Assistant to the Director of Special Education Services. During the OFAC review, it became apparent that district employee Alan C. Roth was actively involved in district employment decisions. Mr. Roth's recollections of events as the mayor, sometimes representing town hall, requested special action regarding certain employment decisions. Those requests involving termination, demotion, promotion, and transfer for such specific individuals. One of the immediate action involved in appointment of Clara Rivera as assistant superintendent. She was to be the right hand to the superintendent. At the same time, was closely aligned with the new mayor, whose name is liaison between the district and town. Among the initial actions called by the mayor's office was the reassurance of non-renewal letters to 9 tenants. Mr. Ross stated the superintendent was extremely uncomfortable issuing these letters to any individual, especially when he recalled many conversations with the superintendent and other staff members on how he would properly balance specific requests and not harming qualified employees. Mr. Ross stated that Mr. Solera served as liaison to the town. He arrived at the board office with a list of about 1.5 dozen names. His name was on the list with a big question mark. Mr. Solera asked that the specific position he was held, whether or not it could be promoted or fired. Patrick Gagliardi, 16th District Attorney. Mr. Gagliardi has been employed by the district for 19 years. When interviewed on August 12, 2012, he served as Director of University. Mr. Gagliardi stated that in the May 2000 election, there was a campaign of harassment and bullying by the town hall to gain influence in the district. The office received phone calls and visits from personnel from town hall in an attempt to direct district employment actions. The individuals generally responsible include Joseph Marco, an attorney, and Alan Roth, who worked in the district for 20 years. Mr. Gagliardi stated he received daily phone calls from the superintendent requiring requests for termination, transfers, and removal. I was informed by the superintendent that the requests were coming from the mayor's office. 17, modification of the district organization chart. The OFAC reviewed the district organization chart as an existing and modified for a time period prior to the election of Mayor to the present day, in 2013. It was noted that initially the two individuals assigned assistant superintendent on lines of authority connected to superintendent. Both individuals were on the same line. Subsequently, on December 14, 2011, the board modified the organizational chart to indicate that Ms. Herrera was a direct report to the superintendent. The remaining assistants reported to Ms. Herrera. The superintendent recommended and the board approved a recent resolution of the organization chart on December 14. The organization chart now indicates each assistant superintendent has equal authority, and each has a direct line of authority in the organization's superintendent. The contact with Mayor Roque and Commissioner Vargas in the violated New Jersey Criminal Code. As stated in the preceding paragraphs, Mayor Roque sought and requested the pressure the superintendent of Westfield School District and never obtained approval for his adverse employment actions against individuals who supported the prior mayor and or individuals who failed to support his candidacy. Similarly, Ruben Vargas used his position as commissioner of the town of Westfield to assume employment position from the district known as black and required qualification. New Jersey statutes invented specifically NJSA 2C:33 whereas contact with public servant is illegal. The statute reads in part, a public servant is guilty of official misconduct and proposes to injure or deprive another of a benefit. He commits an act relating to his office but constituting an unauthorized exercise of his official function, knowing that such act is unauthorized and is committing such an act or he willingly refrains from performing the duty which imposed upon him by law is clearly intended to nature of his office. Official misconduct is a crime of second degree. Mayor located Commissioner Vargas, district intervention, appearing contrary to NJSA 48:9-22 governing contact with government officials. NJSA 48:9-22 local officers shall comply with the following provisions. No local government officer shall use or attempt to use official position to secure unwarranted privilege or advantage which for himself or others. Jurisdiction to determine violations of NJSA 48:9 run the review of local finance board and division of universities. Conclusion. For the reasons set forth on this report, the OFAC investigators have confirmed the Westminster Board of Education permitted the Office of the Mayor to unduly influence district employment matters. Based upon information divulged during interviews with district staff and other corroborating official information, the Mayor utilizes his authority and influence to direct board action concerning employment decisions in the district. The OFAC concluded that the superintendent acquiesced to the wishes of the Mayor based upon fear, non-compliance with the Mayor Office of the Press would adversely affect district employees and operation. The information in turn as a result of the employment interviews also established a pattern of concern of coercion of staff to contribute to fundraising campaigns or face possible retribution. Such action may violate provision of the school ethics. The OFAC has concluded sufficient verifiable evidence exists to support a referral to the Office of the Attorney General, the Local Finance Board, the Department of Human Affairs, Division of Local Government Service, the Office of the Attorney General has jurisdiction over such violations of the Criminal Code, the Local Finance Board has jurisdiction over matters involving contact with local government officials. The district recommendation, the district is recommended to take corrective action identifying these measures and implemented to ensure compliance with the provision of NJSA 18:27-4 personal action. In reference to the contact of some board, the OFAC lacks jurisdiction to discuss issues involving possible board conflicts of interest and code of conduct violations. Such matters are under the purview of the School Ethics Commission. Aggravated individuals may submit a complaint directly to the OFAC. Information instructions for the following ethics complaint available on the state website as listed. In reference to potential ethics violations of abuse of office involving the Mayor Local and the Commission of Vargas in order to conduct Westminster Administrative Staff. A copy of this report will be forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General and the Division of Local Government Services Department of Affairs for review. Meeting, any public comments or questions to address the meeting of the board at this time. Please step to the mic.
Michelle Lopez, 430 55th Street. First, I would like to congratulate John Fouta for doing an outstanding job tonight. I would just like to say some facts about the new member of the Board of Education. Sylvia Costa illegally converted his 2-family house into a 6-family house without proper approvals. he was issued approximately 54 violations and fines, and to this day has never abated the violations, not paid the fines. Just a few months ago, Sylvia Costa and Gil Garcia, the town attorney, lied to the board, the town and its residents, stating that the CDA cleared the violations and the fines. However, it was never cleared by the DCA, and in fact, Sylvia Costa was issued additional fines from the DCA directly. Yet, Sylvia Costa was given approval for his illegal extension because of his and Gil Garcia lies. Sylvia Costa was in fact fired in 2009 for conduct unbecoming a public employee. Sylvia Costa testified at trial before the United States District Court on or about November 17, 2009, in case entitled United States of America and Herman Freeman, wherein he required a translator because he could not speak the language. Although fired for conduct becoming a public employee, Felix Roque hired Sylvia Costa as chief of staff and appointed him as deputy mayor in 2011. Sylvia Costa also owns a property at Grant's Place, which was also found to have illegal units as of 2011 while being a deputy mayor. Sylvia Costa currently is named as a defendant in many lawsuits against the town. Is this the type of person that we want to make decisions for our children?
Hi, Wayne Cook, 6131 Jackson Street. Today in the Jersey Journal, there's an article stating that Mayor Roque denies his involvement in the West New York Board of Education and anything to do with this board. Mr. Sylvia Costa, who do you work for? You work for Mayor Roque. On that report, I just saw that Mr. Fred stated code of conduct violation and contradiction. If your appointment is for a date of contradiction, and I can't win the lottery on Saturday.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think some of you know me. My name is Ralph Martell, and I reside at 6001 Monroe. I've had the pleasure of living in this great town, and I've had the pleasure of being friends with and working with two great mayors. Together and independently, they built one of the best districts in the United States. These teachers in this organization have done their best. I know some of the people sitting up there for many years. I've had the pleasure of calling them friends. I would never thought that I would see a day like today. I believe that most of you are honorable, decent people. I believe that the word trustee means something. I believe that some of you know that you can't tell me that you're comfortable with calling Mr. Acosta a trustee of the Board of Education of West New York. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened to decency and honor? Ladies and gentlemen, we're not in Cuba. My parents fled Cuba. This is not communism, it's not a dictatorship. Please, you have the power to support this Marine who has the courage to stand up. Say no more. If you have to call the FBI to get this guy out, do so. You were appointed as trustees. As I said, I know some of you. Please, honor your name, honor our town. Do the right thing. This is not about us. It's about the kids that these people educate. Please.
Good evening. My name is Alexandra Sherian. I live at 6117 Monitor Place. I want to thank you for taking an opportunity to speak in support of the teachers, guidance counselors, and child study team professionals in the school district, and specifically Memorial High School. My son Derek has been a student in the West New York system since 2000 when he began pre-K at the number 2 school. He's now a high school junior. Over the years, these individuals have partnered with me to chart a course for success for my son. It has not always been easy, and his needs have not always been clear, but they never gave up on him. And as a result of their efforts, today he's a confident young man facing a bright future. When he entered Memorial in 2010, he immediately struggled. Somewhere along the way during registration, his IEP was lost in the system, and his teachers were unaware of the supports he desperately needed. As a parent, this was difficult to watch. We reached out to his guidance counselor, who put us in touch with Ms. Pace, the school psychologist, and from that point forward, things began to change for the better. Ms. Pace conducted a full evaluation and created a new IEP for Derek. She also made sure that his teachers were aware of the support set forth in the plan. Another key person that helped to coordinate services for my son is Stacy Olivero. She supported and encouraged me as a parent, and she helped me to see how important it was for my son to feel confident in himself. She assigned him a skilled and kind math tutor, Ms. Fleitas, who later became his teacher and helped him to conquer his fear of math. After receiving these supports, his grades immediately improved, and today I can honestly say that he's a strong student. He's confident, well-adjusted, and most importantly, he's happy. But the support of the school staff did not stop there. His guidance counselor, Ms. Boger, learned that he had an interest in science, and she placed him in a science academy where he has really shined, and now he's exploring colleges where he can study in this field. This support has gone far beyond that. I won't even give you every single example. But the work that they do is not easy. The guidance counselor has a caseload of more than 170 students. Ms. Pace counsels students who are suicidal, they have gang affiliations, and they have emotional and cognitive needs far beyond my son's. The school's overcrowded. The staff is stretched very thin. I could not imagine doing the work that they do on a daily basis, and I'm a clinical social worker. These professionals are dedicated beyond belief, and if they were ever to look for work elsewhere, it would be a tremendous loss to our town and to our students. So as a social worker, a taxpayer, a voting town resident, and most importantly as a parent, I strongly encourage you to ratify a contract in support of the teachers and professional staff of the West New York School District.
And I'm sure that when the Attorney General's office reviews this report, a number of people in this room are going to be indicted, brought to trial, and they're going to serve time. You have a report that talks about a hit list. A hit list that came to this district from the mayor's office. We even know who carried the list into the district, in the superintendent's office. We should know who else knows about that list, where's that list, and every member of the public should have a copy of that list. Because this corruption is not ending. You have a mayor now that will not finish his term. He has a trial in July. I'm convinced he's going to jail. But instead of stepping back and doing what he actually says that's not involved, he takes this final opportunity to appoint a board member who is poison, a board member who is on his hit list. And if you follow the dots and connect them, how can we have that board member, that person who's tainted for being the hatchet man in town hall, Sylvia Costa, make the motion to nominate the president of this board? It's a shame. It shows that you're all connected, and you want to get rid of this policy until he goes to jail and beyond. Let me give you some advice. Get rid of the people that you put on based on those recommendations and the people you promoted, and settle every lawsuit from the people you have victimized. And do it right away so you can save taxpayers money.
Good evening, Alexander Logan, Kentucky, former board member of West New York Board of Education. I just want to say that...
you need your address.
Actually, I'm 6040 Boulevard East. Just want to say that I think Beetle Bailey or Captain Kurtz, or whatever you want to call it, Mayor Roque just blackened West Felix under her eye.
Carlos Betancourt, 27, 51st Street.
Louder, please. Louder.
You will get it. I'm going to address you because this is all irrelevant. Well, I'm talking to you. You can hear me. These people are supposed to represent you and our most precious commodity, our children. However, that's been lost in the message. You see, because they serve a separate agenda. And that agenda does not coincide with your interests or that of our towns. They have failed us. They have continued to fail us, and they will always fail us. This is why my intent, or how I perceive things, is to eradicate this and bring in an elected board. All right? That truly represents the interests of the town and residents of this community. Not hacks, not cronies, not people that serve an agenda that is otherwise... Are you cutting my microphone?
He can speak, but he must address the board. He must address the board.
And I will now address the board.
Very good. Very good.
All right, now, no, let me have the microphone.
Sir, with all due respect, respect is both ways. You have no respect for the residents of this house.
The gentleman can speak, he must address the board.
And you must address our town. You have a right to respect.
Okay.
You go, Jack.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you were brought in for a reason, and that was to represent. And the government appropriately, the Board of Ed, make important decisions and always have our children well-being best at heart. It's unfortunate that that has not become the case, and clearly you have to redefine your mission, because apparently you're not completing what you're supposed to be doing, including the ratification of the contract for the teachers, because I have many friends that sit behind me that are out of pocket trying to provide pencils and other materials and you laugh. Also, and most importantly, and last I heard, which was this week, that you're cutting back on everything from copiers to paper to everything else. But yet, there's big salaries all around. I'm going to urge you to try to get back on the right track. If things continue the way they are, you will... I'll be up here again. I'll be up here every time you have a meeting, and I'll be up here yelling, and I'll be trying to help these folks, because the reality of the matter is that these people, quintessentially, and I was a cop for 34 years, these people are important. and they need their needs fulfilled in order to educate our children. Thank you.
Lois Tarr, President of the West York Education Association. On behalf of all of my members, the employees of the West York School District, I'd like to thank Superintendent Fountain for his integrity and his bravery in going forward with this. I would also like to thank him for doing the right thing this year with our non-tenure, non-renewal people, and not sending out a blanket list to everybody in the district who didn't have tenure. That's a really major thing for those people that are employees but have not yet achieved tenure, and I want to thank you for that too.
Hi, my name is Mike Corso, 301 52nd Street. I'd just like to be very brief here. Mr. Benton, the only way we're going to get rid of this corruption in the town of West York is by having an elected school board and a mayor and council form of government. I have a question for Mr. Fountain. Mr. Fountain, before you said that you send out 3 memorandums about the solicitation during school hours. Is that correct? Yes. Did you send out any solicitations during the previous administration, Mr. Vega was the mayor? Yes. Yes. You did. Well, I guess these are the Vega people say that, but I don't know that myself. Right? You're all Mayor Vega supported. That's the whole thing, right? What we need here is an elected school board and a mayor council form of government. Thank you very much.
Would you like to address these contract issue? So everyone knows the status, just Ms. Marabelli. Ms. Marabelli. Donna. Why did you say that?
I just got a quick, well, just please, go over contracts.
No, just one thing.
I just want to say that the memorandum of agreement has been signed by the West New York Education Association and the Board of Education, and I look forward to a speedy ratification of that contract by the board, and I'd like to thank them for finally getting this done.
Yes, we'll be addressing that at regular 29th meeting.
Frank Ferrero, 6128 Park Avenue, West York, New Jersey, business address. I just had a question about the report. There was 90 grand that was going to be given to Mr. Vargas. Isn't that 90 grand that the teachers were taken away from their contract? Away from the teachers, the kids, to give it to Mr. Vargas? Now, for those board members that go blindly with Dr. Roque, Mr. Val, particularly you, do you understand the charge of conspiracy? Charge of conspiracy is real easy to come along, Mr. Val. You are one of the main board members that's a Roque ally. And besides Acosta, of course, that's his right-hand man. I don't want to point fingers at anyone else because I don't know who are the other allies. Obviously, he has 4 or more on the board. But each and every one of you, please look up the charge of conspiracy. You can't go to jail for backing up illegal activities by just cooperating with them. Look it up, conspiracy.
Donna Belli, 200
El otro no está aquí.
District Supervisor of
Sí, sí, sí,
Mathematics
sí.
and Business Education and President of the West New York Supervisors Association. Before I even mention contract, I want to mention something that I found out after one of the last board meetings involving a couple of the board members who have regularly recommended that we don't need the supervisors like they thought we do. They have made comments that they don't know what we do, they don't need us. I think it would be nice if maybe those board members stop into the district once in a while, see what the supervisors do. I have 46 teachers that I supervise, middle school math, high school math, and business education. And I have teachers that work very, very hard. I'm here to support them, and maybe you should know what we do for a living. Because honestly, I attend a lot of school events. We had the National Honor Society induction not too long ago, a few weeks ago. Where were some of you? Stop by and see what goes on in our district. Because you really see how hard people work here. You have no idea. None. It's easy to sit there and make decisions when you do not have a clue. And I'm sorry for you that you really have no idea. You just have the power to vote. We would like our contract settled also. The teachers deserve a raise, the support staff deserves a raise, the supervisors deserve a raise. We should be treated fairly. We work very hard. Many of us well beyond the hours stated in our contract. We attend evening events that the board should also. Join us now and then. Come out of wherever it is you are and see what we do for a living. Thank you.
The board will be taking up the supervisor's MOE month on the 29th as well.
223 50th Street. Let me say three things. Number one is, Falta, you've been put in a tough position, but we are with you and we give you support, okay? Number two is that we got to stop playing games and give the teachers the raise that they deserve, because they do serve our kids, okay? Number three is, a lot of you, if you got any dignity, quit your positions. Thank you.
Kevin Burrell, 6128 Park Avenue. I understand that the OFAC report recommends that you come up with an action plan. President Lee, nothing you come up with will really work. The only thing that will work is an elected school board, where they have the power to choose you, not one person. When you have with that much power, this is what happens. You get this board, corruption.
I forgot something. Don Mirabelli and I still live in the same place. I also would like to thank Mr. Fowler, who has been there to support us. He knows how important the district employees are, support staff, teachers, supervisors, and administrators. He has had an open door policy for us. We have always been there to support each other. And when the superintendent makes recommendations, maybe some of the board members who aren't familiar at all with education, it would behoove you to take the superintendent's
You can't come back in if you go out. I'll probably have to.
Nobody can hear you, sir.
See no one else.
Michelle Lopez again, 430 55th Street. I would like to know Mr. Falta to respond to my question. Was Commissioner Ruben Vargas removed? Was he removed from his position? Was he terminated? Was Ruben Vargas terminated from his position? Was he fired? Is he still working for the Board of Education?
Ah, come on, no.
He still does.
But just to let you know that Mr. Vargas was one of the individuals that I recommended for non-renewal. To make that determination. He was given substantial time to produce his high school GED or the high school diploma to the end of the year. It's not so. I've recommended him to be terminated. He did receive a non-renewal letter also.
Like myself, I like to show a hand, see how many people actually went to our school system. I went to number 5 school class in 1971. I went to Memorial class in 1975. My kids went to Memorial, number 2 school. Now my grandkids, up here, nobody can say that. So we don't care about kids.
That's the main bitch. Why?
First, I'd like to thank my fellow board members for electing me president. I think this is the third time. It's my hope that we can all work together in conjunction with the superintendent, enjoying an open, honest, and trustworthy relationship. Integrity means everything. Most importantly, it's my hope that this board can work together, always keeping in mind that we're here to ensure that our students receive the best possible education, free from any political influence.
Come on! Come on!
Or interference.
You say that with a straight face.
Present
Oh, she's
or past. I'm confident that our students are in good hands because this school district is fortunate enough to have highly competent, caring, and dedicated teachers. And I congratulate all the teachers for their hard work. Also, I'd like to thank our board attorneys, Paul Sangello, Brian Horsley, and Lester Taylor, for their dedication to this board, for educating us as to our roles and responsibilities as board members. I hope to continue this excellent working relationship with them in the future. Thank you very much.
I'd just like to make a comment. I want to thank Mrs. Series for that statement. And the bottom line, you know, this was a dark day today with this report. I faced 2 very dark days as superintendent. The first board meeting 2 years ago when we had bottles and cans thrown at us. And the mayor prancing up here and screaming and yelling at us. And my business administrator had to leave because of health issues. And tonight to present his report, I am not a hero. I'm not courageous. It was horrible what I had to do tonight. Horrible. But I want to take Mrs. Series' recommendations. We need to work together for the sole purpose of our teachers and our children. We've forgotten what this is about. It's about the children. We have to work together.
Turn it off? How do you turn this on?
Second.
What do you say? You're just gonna start.